Absolute Geezers, welcome to another episode of Football Is, and that is what I want, Tales of a Groundhopper. If you're new or old, do me a favour, have a look on the app if you're listening to this on Spotify and leave us a review on there. You can rate the podcast up to 5 stars, so if you are enjoying it, leave that review, share this with a friend, and let's get this show out there. Now enough of that shameful plug, on with the show. Absolute Geezers, welcome to another episode of Football Is, and that is what I want, Tales of a Groundhopper. You'll recognise the person, I'm going to say on my left at the moment, but I don't know if I edit it, you might be on my right. So left or right, whatever it is, it's Doug. How you doing, Doug?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much for having me, and I'm really looking forward to this. Happy New Year to you as well, by the way.
And to you, sir, and to you. Actually, this is the first time it's just been the two of us, mate. We've always got other people about, haven't we? So it's quite nice to have a alone time.
I mean, you've been on the World of Football podcast for a number of times, and I've been on your Sunday Social a number of times. So yeah, it's actually nice to be doing something just the two of us.
No, it's brilliant, mate. And actually, the person that we always talk about on the World of Football podcast is Sir Phil Jones, and I got my wish, didn't I, the other day? Finally,
certainly did.
Told you he was good.
Probably a man of the match appearance, if I'm being honest. He was probably your best player.
Without a doubt. But I told you, I've been telling you all for a year or two now. He's quality. But that's for another time. No, really appreciate you coming on, mate. It's great to talk football. When I was thinking about getting this back on, I thought the one person I need to speak to who loves football and talks football is Doug. So having you on, mate, is an absolute pleasure. Now, before we kick off, just explain to the guys a bit about what you do, mate, because you are a very busy man with your podcasts.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube at the Dugout Football Channel. I've got loads. I've got Premier League, Bundesliga, SPFL. We've obviously got the AFCON coming up as well, Champions League, FA Cup. I just try to cover everything, really.
Mental, mate. Honestly, your diary must be like this. No, it's great content, mate. And as I say, I do appreciate you coming on. We had a little talk off camera, and I did say, did you write some notes? And Doug has said, no, but I've got a very good memory. So I'm really excited for this one because, to be fair, as I've said, he loves football, loves talking football. So we've got plenty to go through now. If you're new and haven't watched well, I'd say watch. It's normally just on Spotify, but we're doing video now. We're evolving, Doug. We're in the 21st century. We're going for it. So if you are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share this with your friends. Tales of a Groundhopper is something that seems to be very, very popular. And as always, if you're interested in coming on, make sure you come along. But these questions this time, Doug, as I said in the show previously, we used to do 10 questions, standard 10 questions every week. We were doing it, and it was fine, but it just got a bit samey. So what we've done is we've got a load of questions together, randomly picked them, and so no two shows are the same. And I'm really looking forward to some of the questions that we're going to be asking you. I think there's some corkers in there, so I'm looking forward to it. So we will kick it off with the most bizarre thing you've witnessed at a game, Doug.
Do you know what? It was a couple of years ago. I was at Livingston against Rangers, and for no apparent reason or anything, someone brought like paper aeroplanes into the the Livingston fans actually brought paper aeroplanes into the ground. So basically at halftime, the halftime entertainment was basically people just throwing paper aeroplanes out to the fans. It was absolutely incredible and really funny as well. But
it seems to be a thing, doesn't it? These paper aeroplanes. Mm-hmm. In the Euros, I was watching people there's loads of videos of people just throw them as far as they can onto the field.
Yeah. I think the most weirdest thing is I've probably seen at a football game is probably, I remember there was a game between Hearts and Livingston at Tynecastle, And I don't know if you'll be able to get it on like YouTube or anything, but an actual dog appears on the pitch, and like I know you've obviously had like black cats at like Everton and then obviously Liverpool, and I think we had the Blackburn chicken as well. But the Tynecastle dog is a very interesting one. But yeah, just watching Livingston Hearts, and I remember Livingston actually won this 3-2. So this would have been like 2000 and 2003. So it's been a long time. But the one memory I was only, I think, so we're going 2000. I would have only been 10 at the time anyway. And I just screamed out to my dad, "Oh, there's a dog on the there's a dog on the pitch." He's like, "Eh? There is an actual dog in the pitch." So play had to be stopped for about 5 to 10 minutes after that. It was incredible. But yeah, I think paper airplanes and probably dogs on the pitch. I mean, you've obviously seen, big animals on the pitch in England games as well. It'd have to be the Tynecastle dog for me.
Do you know what? That sounds like the title of a Sherlock Holmes novel, doesn't it? The Tynecastle Dog. That could be a new Sherlock novel. No two ways about it. Okay, so with regards to your travels, you are quite well. I look at your photos you put up and your memories. You've been around, mate. It's good to see. With regards to games you've watched, can you name me a player that you've watched play live and you've always kept an eye out for after watching them play?
Well, we've had a few loan players play for Livingston. So I would have to say Ryan Hardy. Ryan Hardy is one of those players who I've seen from obviously Rangers. He came on loan to Livingston. He had a very, very good spell. He's at Plymouth Argyle now, but he was at Blackpool, then went back to Rangers, then went back to Livingston, and then went back to Rangers, and then he's obviously gone to Plymouth. Ryan Hardy's another one. Lyndon Dykes as well. That's another player I've been looking at. He's been fantastic recently.
The Aussie Scotsman.
The Aussie Scotsman, yeah. Everyone makes fun of that, but no, he's been fantastic for QPR. He's fantastic in his season and a half for us as well. Lyndon Dykes has always been one player I've looked out for as well.
Did Lyndon Dykes play for Queen of the South?
Yes,
he did, didn't he? I did a pod. Actually, it'll be out of the weekend actually with some of the guys from Queen of the South, and I was just thinking, yeah, he did play for Queen of the South. I feel like his game has come on. This isn't me saying anything about Scottish football, but I mean playing in the Championship and also playing for Scotland in such competitive games. I remember watching him the game where you guys qualified. Was it against Serbia? Was it Serbia?
Serbia, yeah.
I was watching from there to now. I think his game's come on leaps and bounds. He seems he's brought a lot more to his game. He's so strong on the ball at holding it up, isn't he? So strong.
Everyone thought he was a target man when he came to us, but actually he holds up the ball well, and he's actually a very good passer of the ball as well. My favourite goal of his is probably the dink over Fraser Forster. Like, it's a long ball from Matija Sarkic, who we had as goalkeeper at the time, and Lyndon Dykes just sees Forster off his line. He just dinks it over him, and with Lyndon Dykes being, I think, 6'3", like Fraser Forster's 6'6", just to see Forster looking at the ball going over his head was fantastic.
I actually rather a dink. I love seeing a volley, but I just think sometimes with a volley, I feel like it is a lot of it just hit it. The ball's in the air, just it comes out the air, it drops, you hit it. With a dink, I remember watching David Beckham against Birmingham, and he dinked Mike Taylor. The technique it takes. I mean, the Di Maria one against Schmeichel. The technique it takes to get that ball to loft it up and bring it. It's just, I love watching a good old dink, mate. Nothing wrong with a dink or two. No, love that, mate. Love that. Now, with regards to this one, I got egg on my face when I was talking to a chap in the last podcast, Jim, because I thought I knew what his answer would be. But so I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm not going to say any of that. I'm going to let you answer it. If you could relive the last 5 minutes of a game that you've been to, what would it be? Which one would it be and why?
I mean, I've been to a lot of games over the years where I'm like, I want to be at that again. I wish I was at the Barcelona game, the Liverpool Barcelona game, because that was absolutely amazing. I was working at the time, so I can actually remember I can actually remember having my phone in my pocket, and I just kept checking the score every single time. And someone came screaming down the aisle saying, "Oh, Trent Alexander-Arnold has played at the Revoir at 4-0," but obviously I wasn't at that game. It'd have to be the CIS Cup final in 2004. Again, Livingston took, I think, 9,000 fans that day, and Hibs took 38,000 fans.
This is so weird. On the last pod I was on, we were talking about this because on the run up to that final, Hibs had knocked out Celtic and Rangers, hadn't they?
Yes, they had.
Carry on, sir. Yeah, carry on.
And we had knocked out Aberdeen and I think Dundee to make the final. But I just remember like the two quick-fire goals, and it's just as soon as you got to the 85th minute was when you think, yeah, we've got this wrapped up in the bag. Just seeing those 5 minutes, because we absolutely played them off the park that day. So it'd have to be the CIS Cup final, because that was our first ever trophy, 2004. First ever trophy.
I was absolutely devastated because I don't profess to be a Hibs fan, but they're a team that I keep my eye out for, because in that season I'd watched them on Channel 5 in England beat Celtic, and they got these young players in the team like Gary O'Connor, Derek Reardon. Was it Ian Murray? I think Ian Murray might have been playing from. But
Ian Murray, Scott Brown.
Brown, there you go. So they had all these young players, and they were. I was in awe watching them. They're a group of young lads who looked like they're having fun. And I remember when it got to the final, I watched the final. I actually chose watching the final, believe it or not, over playing for my Sunday League football team. I said, no, I'm busy.
Wow.
Because I felt like I'd watched them all the way through, so I thought, I've got to watch it. And I was so disappointed. And it was actually, I likened the disappointment to when United lost 4-1 at home to Liverpool a few years ago. Was it De Sena scored that? Did he score the free kick again?
Oh yeah, De Sena, Andrew De Sena.
Yeah,
Van der Sar.
I just remember, mate. It ruined the day. Ruined the day for me. But it's funny, isn't it? That's why I love this football chat, because it's stories like that. I absolutely love it. Okay, with regards to grounds, what grounds did you find the biggest letdown that you went to? Don't say Old Trafford, or else I'm cutting it.
No, actually, to be fair, I've done the Manchester United tour. Now this is for many people who don't know. I was actually on Countdown in 2014, so I did the Old Trafford tour and I did the Etihad tour. Two fantastic stadiums. So I can't really say that, and I'm not going to say Anfield, because I think I would probably be like, oh, you're not a really Liverpool fan. There's not been many. I mean, probably the Stadium of Light.
Oh, really?
I know that I would say Stadium of Light. Yeah, I think, because I remember being at a Sunderland Liverpool game. Now, this would have been when Luis Suarez had his 10-match ban. Yeah. And I remember being in the Sunderland end, and you can actually. It's a nice stadium on the outside. The inside it is nice, but it was getting a little bit rickety. Like the seats were coming apart as well. Like I think that they definitely need a look of paint. So, but I wouldn't say I'm that disappointed in the stadium. Like, it's a lovely stadium as well. But biggest letdown for me, probably in Scotland, I would say, is probably Pittodrie. That is the coldest stadium I have ever been to, and they just do not even make an effort to make it warm either, because you're right by the sea. It's just the coldest stadium that I've ever been to. So I'd have to say Pittodrie.
I'm going to have to speak to my Scottish friends about that, about the ones I go watch Queen of the South with. Have you been to Palmerston? You ever been to Palmerston?
That's one of the only stadiums in the Championship that I've actually never been to, is Palmerston. Really?
Oh, there you go, then, mate. There's a meeting point. We keep saying we want to catch up. That'll be that's probably halfway, I should imagine, for both of us logistically, really.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably have to do a bit of travelling each. But no, I'll bear that one in mind, and I'll speak to him about that, because I do love talking to him about these sort of things. Now, with regards to grounds, what ground would you say you're desperate to check off your list of grounds to go to?
I've always said the list of grounds to check off would probably be the San Siro. I mean, obviously, I know Inter Milan have got Liverpool in the Champions League coming up as well, but I'm just not going to get over there, unfortunately, before obviously it gets knocked down, which is very, very sad. But we've had some good memories, and the San Siro as well. I mean, I've been to a few grounds in Germany. I've been to the Olympiastadion, the famous Olympic stadium in Berlin, and that was fantastic. I've been to the Hamburg Stadium. I've been to a few. I think the one to probably cross off, I've not been to the actual new Wembley yet, and I actually want to get to there. There was the Carling Cup final 2012. I should have been at that, and for one reason or another, I just turned it down, and that's one of my biggest regrets, is actually never getting to go to that final, because we actually won it on penalties.
Yeah. I remember. My God, that makes me feel old. Actually, that makes me feel really old thinking about that. Cheers, mate.
And Charlie Adams' penalty is still going down Wembley Way as we speak.
Long out time ago, mate. In fact, but I tell you what, obviously to go off topic slightly, how much of Liverpool changed in that?
Oh my goodness, it's like from leaps and bounds now. It's absolutely leaps and bounds. I mean, if I'm just trying to think of, like, obviously we had the dark days through Hodgson. We had obviously the good season with Kenny Dalglish. Winning the Carling Cup was fantastic, and then you had Rodgers nearly won the Premier League, and then you've got a German Klopp coming in as well, and just leaps and bounds.
He's absolutely. I don't think I on podcasts or anything I go on, I don't think I give him enough credit. He's the closest thing to Alex Ferguson for me. He really is. And just in the sense of the stories I hear about him, that he knows all of the staff's names, knows all of the family names, is constantly doing bits and pieces with I just look at him and I think he's everything you want in a manager. He's a tactician. He's your father. He's strict. He's like a teacher.
Yeah.
Everything. And I look at him and I think Liverpool have done so well with that, and actually he's perfect for you guys, because he come in and he just gets it, doesn't he? Just gets the Liverpool, he gets it, knows what it's about, and the players he has there, they love him to death, and they'll run through brick walls. And I think if you've got a group of players that will do that, you're halfway there, aren't you?
Oh, 100%. And what he's brought to the club, that season especially, like winning the Champions League, Premier League, European Super Cup, World Club Cup. I mean, we managed to win every single trophy that was available to us then, obviously except the League Cup and obviously the FA Cup. But those 2 years were absolutely amazing. Yes, it's not been quite as good yet recently, but we're still getting into the Champions League, and that's one thing to say as well. But I mean, you would be just wishing that Man United would start winning more things as well.
Christ, that ship sailed long ago, mate. I don't see it coming back either. It's one of them. I could sit here and talk for hours about United, but I don't think the wife would be happy, because I just get so angry. In fact, she actually said to me the other day, she's like, why do you watch them? Why do you let yourself get this angry? And no, it's frustrating. I will end that part on I remember reading Klopp said that to manage Man United was like going to Disneyland. It's just you know what I mean? It's just all pie in the sky. It's all, you don't want that, and it says it all, doesn't it? But okay, with regards to back to the groundhopping side of it, what club would you say was the most welcoming to you?
I mean, obviously, I remember being this is a wee story for you. So Livingston played Sturm Graz in the UEFA Cup. Now, this is going back in 2002, so this will be a long time ago. So I managed to get the few days off school. I managed to get the few days off school. Now, the one thing was, the deal was, if me and Dad got to go to the Sturm Graz Livingston in Graz in Austria, Mum would get a dog. So we managed.
Sounds fair.
That's absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. So we got to go to Graz. Now, Graz is absolutely stunning. Like, I could probably show you pictures of it. Obviously, after we've done this, but Graz is just phenomenal. That was where I first tried Wiener Schnitzel. And like all the Austrian foods there. It was absolutely amazing. And we actually went down to the Arnold Schwarzenegger Stadion. I think it's still called that.
I think so.
And we're just standing outside the ground, and I have to say that someone actually noticed we were looking outside the ground, and they came over to us and like, oh, do you want to come in and have a look? And we were like, oh yeah, yes, please. So we actually got to go into the stadium to actually take pictures, and I got my picture on like the dugout. I got the picture on the like by the goal as well. Absolutely amazing. Now you probably won't see that again. Like
No.
most clubs wouldn't have welcomed them. So for me, it would have to be Sturm Graz, because that club, especially playing Livingston, we lost 5-2 on the night, and we beat them 4-3 in the return legs. We lost 8-6 on aggregate, which is no mean feat. No mean feat anyway. But and I remember the fight back as well, because I sat beside club captain at the time, Gary Boland, and I said, "Oh, Gary, it's only half time. We can get back in 3." His look on his face was a picture, but that has to be one of the best stories that I can basically tell is the Sturm Graz one, because basically it was if you go to Sturm Graz, if you go to Graz in Austria, then mum gets a dog.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love, mate. I love the fact that they saw you looking and said, "Do you want to come and have it?" It's a biggish club, in Europe.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and as you know, I love non-league. I love going around the non-league clubs, and to hear that clubs, of a certain stature do that. I mean, obviously, as you say, probably won't do it nowadays. There's too many red tape and all that, and red flags. But to hear them do that, that's incredible, because I can guarantee you probably keep your eye out for their results. You probably keep an eye. It's like that affinity, isn't it, that you have to it now.
I now have because of that experience, I have a soft spot for Sturm Graz.
Love that. Absolutely love that, mate. It's spot on. That's brilliant. I love stories like that. This is why I do this podcast, mate, because you don't get the same story. You don't get the same story from everyone, and that's perfect. Love that. Okay, question wise, I love this one. When I thought about this one, it's just one that I know my answer, but it's one that divides opinion. But Friday night under the lights or a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, what are you going for?
I'm going to be the traditional 3 p.m. kickoff. I've always liked the 3 p.m. kickoff. Like I can never remember being a Friday night game. I love weeknight games. I love like the Tuesday and Wednesday nights, but just the Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, it's just, you go to football, you go out of football, win, lose or draw. It's just the pinnacle of going to football. It's just the 3 p.m. kickoff.
Oh, mate, you've never done a Friday night yet?
Never done a Friday night.
Oh, mate, honestly, I've not done many, but I did one with a local team around here called Dudley Town, and it was a Dudley derby. I dubbed it the Dudley El Clasico, and it was it was a Friday night. It was in fact it's the video that got the most views on the YouTube channel actually, but that's for another time. But what I loved about it, the atmosphere. Obviously, I drove there, so I wasn't drinking. I was filming, and what I loved was I watched all these people, and it was bumper crowd because there was no other football on. I watched all these people listening to them saying, "Oh, I finished work at 5 to get over here. Quickly went home, had my tea, and if we win, we'll go out and we'll celebrate." And I was like, I was just enamored with that, and I thought, yeah, I like a Friday night kickoff. But again, it's such a rarity now, isn't it? You don't really have a Friday night kickoff. I remember back in the day, Tranmere used to do Friday nights, and they used to do so well with that because a lot of Liverpool and Everton fans would go and watch it. Whereas obviously on a Saturday, you lose that, don't you? Because of course, people are going to go see their first team. But no, love that. With regards to grounds, how many have you been to? Because you say you're quite well travelled, aren't you?
I think it's probably going to be an estimate between 60 to 70. I haven't got really a big number in mind, but I've been all over. Like I used to travel home and away with Livingston, so like I've been to almost sort of every stadium in Scotland. I think only Capello, and I can't remember the other one, but Stennismere, I think, is the only other ones I've not been to.
The Warriors.
Yes, Stenny, of course. But yeah, I've been to loads. I now travel to like a few Liverpool games as well. Like I was at I've been to the Riverside, been to the Cardiff City Stadium, been to the Millennium Stadium. Maybe not just been like at these stadiums, but like I've just been like outside them as well. Been at Ashton Gate, and I've obviously been at Bristol Rovers as well. So I'd have to say between 60 to 70.
Have you obviously been in Scotland, mate? Have you been to many Highland games up there, Highland League games?
No, that's one thing I haven't actually been to is as many Highland games because my gran lives in Inverness, and will always go up to Inverness. But that's one sort of thing that I've never been to. To be fair, I've been to a few Inverness games. I'll be honest with that. I've been to a few Inverness games. And then obviously you just go over the Keswick Bridge to obviously Ross County.
Yeah.
And again, that that is a cold stadium. No, actually, Inverness is quite a cold stadium because it's right beside the Keswick Bridge. No, Highland League, I haven't really been to many games in the Highland League.
Apparently they're meant to be a good crack up there. So I think that's something I'll that's another one maybe we can catch together actually, mate, when I come up your way. Okay, I love this question because I've got a couple in mind with you, but I'm not gonna, as I say, I'm not gonna prompt because I think I'll probably get it wrong. But name me a player that just gets under your skin that you've seen live.
Wow. Well, if I didn't say live, I would probably say Neymar. I cannot stand that pick.
Yeah, I hate him.
I absolutely cannot stand him. The one thing that really annoys me is it's not much about his showboating and all this, all that. It's just, he would probably be one, but watching live, I'll tell you who actually really used to get on my nerves. Wayne Rooney.
Really?
Wayne Rooney. I have to say that as a manager, I think he's doing fantastic. I think he's done fantastic for Derby County. You know, Derby County have been in the mire quite recently, and you know, for them to, I mean, you know, they have had loads of points deductions, and you know that has to take out a lot in them. But actually, Derby look like they're sort of doing well with the underdogs tag. But yeah, I was at Liverpool, Manchester United. I can't remember what season it was, but just every single time Wayne Rooney got the ball, he just like getting the referee's ear, and it's just it just really drives me nuts. But I mean, we won the game. We won the game absolutely. I think that was a 2-1. That was when Ryan Babel scored the winner that day. Now that's going way back. That was 08-09 season.
Hated Ryan Babel.
So, but no, I've been very lucky to go to a few Liverpool, Manchester United games. Nemanja Vidic used to get under my skin as well.
Vida, absolutely. I loved him.
Yeah, I think that's what you guys are crying out for, is like a Vidic kind of defender. A real Ferdinand or something.
Just a defender, mate, would do. Just a defender.
yeah. So I think going live, probably Wayne Rooney. It'd have to be Wayne Rooney.
Wazza always does. Yeah, he did. I remember him kissing the badge against the Everton fans, and I was like, even I was like, Jesus Christ, mate, you're playing with fire there, playing with fire. Okay, well, to finish it off with regards to games you've been to, what's the worst decision you've ever seen at a game?
Wow. I've seen a few bad decisions in my time of being a Liverpool supporter, but one really gets on my nerves was when I think it was Hibs. It was this season, actually. It was Livingston Hibs game on I can't remember when it was, but we won the game 1-0, and this isn't the full story. It was when Martin Boyle appeared to get fouled, but actually he's actually done a big flip-flop and actually dived over his own 2 feet. Now, the referee gives a penalty straight away, and I'm like, what have you just done? Because it's just, yes, I know referees get a big flack of it as well, but to give decisions like that, and it's just a clear dive. Absolutely clear dive. I've seen worser decisions than that. There was once a penalty that we gave away, and I can't remember who it was against, but there was a guy actually running into the box, and he actually tripped his own 2 feet. No one around him, and the referee thought, well, I'll just give a penalty because I think he's been fouled. So it'd have to be Martin Boyle this season for Hibs against Livingston, because basically going nowhere, falls over his own 2 feet, referee gives a penalty.
It's the worst part of the game, isn't it? It's still, and I think it'll get worse actually as the game goes on, because they don't seem to be doing anything to stop these people going down. And I said it in the last podcast, and you'll probably agree. Players now, you hear the commentator saying, well, they're trained to go down now. Once they feel a touch, they're trained to go down. And the one I hate the most is when they say, oh, he stayed up when he should have gone down and got a penalty. I'm like, well, no, he's playing the game the right way. You know, he's not cheating. Can't abide by that, mate. I absolutely. I mean, Trezeguet, the Villa boy.
That was embarrassing.
That was just awful. And to think that the next day he's got to wake up. If I was that, if I was that bloke and I watched that, and because they replayed it on Sky Sports so many times, I'd sit there and I think, oh Christ, I can't go outside. What have I done? What a twat.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating, mate, and it's a shame, because a lot of decisions, I think that's a problem with a referee. Not badgering referees at all, but referees have a split second to make a decision.
Yeah.
And I honestly firmly believe, I've only ever seen it once or twice. I remember the last time seeing it was it was United against Newcastle, and Newcastle should have got a penalty. This was I'm talking 2002, I think. And the referee at the time come out and actually went to the, come on the interview and said, I made a mistake. I missed it.
Yes, I remember that game. Was it Paul Durkin?
Paul Dirk. It was Paul Dirk. And he come out and he said, I made a mistake. Completely missed it. Apologise. And I'm kind of like, I want that clarity from referees. I want referees after the game. I'm not saying every game, but I want them to be interviewed, and I want accountability. I want to hear them asked, why did you make that decision? What was going, what made you go from a yellow card to a red card, or what made you think it wasn't handball? I just want to hear it. I'm not saying scapegoat them, but they're professionals. These are professional referees. Yeah. They should be asked. And it's frustrating because I don't think referees a lot of the time get held accountable for mistakes they make. Some of them can be massive errors. Now, I get it that no one likes being a referee anymore because of the abuse you get, and I get that. But I kind of feel like maybe a bit of accountability that might help us understand referees a bit more. To have someone come out and say, "I made the decision because of this. So I looked at it this way." I reckon you're going to get a good percentage of people going to sit there and go, okay, yeah, I can see why he's made that. Whereas when you've got Peter Walton, who's sat on BT Sport going, well, it's this, and this. He did it with the Arsenal Man City game. He said, oh, well, he completely contradicted himself. He said, well, I can see why it was given because he's gone down. It's this. And then the next breath, he says, yeah, he went down, he dived. And I'm like, well, what is it then? Is it a penalty or is it not a penalty? So I kind of feel like refs, just a bit of accountability. I'm not asking them to come out and get absolute, pelters, but I just want to hear decisions. But I digress. But mate, honestly, thank you so much for coming on, Doug. It's been really love the story about the Time Castle dog. Love that. I'm telling you now, that is going to be a novel without a doubt. You need to copyright and trademark that title now, mate, before it's stolen after this podcast. But before I let you go, mate, please let the guys and girls, they and them, whoever you are listening, let them know where they can find you, mate.
Yeah, you can find me on the YouTube at the Dugout Football channel. As I said, I do loads covering the AFCON as well. So busy month for me ahead. I'm on Twitter at nrod_1992, where you'll just get a lot of good laugh, a lot of good tweets from me as well. Instagram is Douglas.Horne, and I'm also on Facebook, Douglas James Horne. But Dan, it has been an absolute pleasure to share some nice wee stories. Obviously, the Sturm Graz one, I'll remember from the day I live. So but no, thank you very much for having me.
No, really appreciate it, mate. As I say, we'll catch up again soon. But thank you so much. And guys, as I say, make sure you go and check Doug out. Loads of content coming out. I can assure you won't be disappointed. And also just remember, I keep saying this to everybody with regards to football. Don't stop loving football. Get on this show and tell me your stories, because as I've said, no two stories are the same. So make sure you come and drop us a message and get on. Doug, as always, mate, make sure you take care of yourself and stay safe. I know you're a busy chap. You're off to do another stream now. So thank you very much for taking the time, mate. Stay safe out there. And as always, as I say to everybody, be thinkers, not stinkers. Sayonara. Au revoir.